abasinga ensonga za Anita Among tubadde tuzibuusa amaaso bagamba nti tubadde oluusi twabivaako nga tulowooza tebagenda kuba nga bamuleeta mu kkooti nga bwe baali boogedde tetwamanya ebyakomekerera. Ewenjogerera essaawa eno omukulu avuddeyo n'aleeta Bwino akakasa nti omukulu Anita Among Uganda yasobola okuba nga agivaamu era yadduka ali mu nsi ki byenjagala mmaddu obeere nga owulira. Oyo omukyala ono guli mu kuba nga olaba ku screen yo amanyikiddwa nga Lady Winnie era nga munankyukakyuka wankizo nnyonnyonnyo avuddeyo olunaku olwaleero n'aleetera ddala Bwino akakasa nti ebya Anita Among bibi nnyo era essaawa yonna yonna ayinza okuba nga bamuggyawo. Byenjagala mwattu obeere nga owulirizamuko atanaba kubanga osubscribinga kekana kaseera subscribinga video jimpeta like ku speed y'amangu nnyo ebenga etambulira ddala etuuke ku buli munnayuganda yenna ali eyo eyandeetagidde ddala okumanya kweno information naddala bana b'enkyukakyuka gamba abafoot soldier naddala basinzirira eri mu disitulikiti y'e Butambala kubanga n'omukazi ono asobodde okuba nga akuŋŋaanya Bwino akwata ku muwanga kivumbi naddala okuddamu okuba nga yeewambiddwa n'ebyo n'ebirala. Sagala mwatumbe nga nkulisawo era sagala okusukawo wano nasooke nkweweereko omukulu ono Lady Aleese kw'oteese n'oli Aleese ti Anita Among ne Magogo basobola okuba nga Uganda bateekako kakokola todeka nyuma ne basobola okuba nga bajjabulira. Kasooka owulirize olyoke omale ombulire ebirowoozo byo mu comment section kiki ky'olowooza naddala ku bigambo bya Lady Aleese kw'oteese n'omukulu gwe nkuleetedde.
Magogo Adduse Magogo Anita Among Adduse mu Uganda. Ebya Anita Among nno bibi. Saawa yonna ayingira mabuusu oba luzira oba ayingira kabuli. Guno omwaka teguwera. Gwe ky'olina okumanya Museveni yagambe no treat no surrender. Anita Among bye bye.
Or shares. Let's talk about Anita Among. Remember the cultural leaders who went to visit her at her home and they met with her and they took a picture outside of her house or in the yard or something like that? Those people have been begging to meet Museveni and talk to him. Talk to him regarding Anita Among, obviously. And Museveni dodged them for a while because he has nothing to say to them. Museveni has a made-up mind. Museveni met with them and just to make them feel comfortable or feel happy or feel content about meeting Museveni and getting a positive response. Museveni told them that he's going to definitely let the IGG go through the process that Anita needs to go through. However, he's going to come in later and see how to save Anita Among. That was before and while he met with these leaders from Teso who came to visit him. However, as soon as he finished that meeting and he met with his family members, and Museveni said Anita Among cannot survive his hands. And what he's going to do to Anita Among is going to be something that she'll never forget. He said that Anita Among has become a snake in the green grass and a cancer in the government of Uganda or the NRM as complete as possible. He said that he's going to make sure that Anita Among will never rise again, and he'll make sure that Anita Among is dead. He's not talking imprisonment, he's not talking disappearing Anita here and there. He says Anita Among he must kill because Anita Among has become a cancer and a snake in the green grass. If you do remember the saga of Anita Among's arrest and all the wealth that Anita Among had, apparently Anita Among's wealth is tied to South Sudan Salva Kiir. The president of South Sudan Salva Kiir is a huge link to Anita Among's wealth and the way she interacted and threw her weight. Somehow, if you don't know, Museveni is the kingmaker of Sudan. He is the one that got rid of Garang. Garang's airplane, as soon as it took off from Uganda to head back to Sudan, Museveni shot at it intentionally and sacrificed the pilot and Garang himself so that he could replace him with somebody who he wanted in Sudan. He was done with John Garang. I actually recently met a very good friend of John Garang here in the United States. A really, really good friend of his. Somebody from Sudan who is not even, actually he's not Sudanese. And he told me about how this whole ordeal unfolded. And he too had to leave as a refugee. So Museveni, in the mix of Anita Among, after meeting the cultural leaders and you know, putting rosy glasses on them and saying, oh yes, I'll release your daughter, don't worry, you can go back, you know, I care about Anita Among, I made her who she is, I'm going to make sure that I take care of her, nothing will happen to her. Meanwhile, like I said, when Museveni says this, he means this. So anyway, if he doesn't mean any harm to Anita Among, why is she not free to live? If IGG is conducting their own independent research, why is Anita Among not free to exist and go to court and do whatever it is? So that just goes to show you how this man functions. He says this, but he means that. He does not mean exactly what he says. So anyways, Museveni is very upset with Anita Among because Anita Among was pulling her weight and trying to destabilize, apparently, the government of Museveni. Anita Among had great allies in South Sudan, especially with Salva Kiir. That grand building that Anita Among has, apparently, it is a home where Salva Kiir heavily invested, and he planned to, once he retires in South Sudan, to come and live and retire in Uganda in the backyard of Anita Among. Both of them had planned to somehow figure out how they can topple Museveni and begin to run the country as Anita Among being the president of Uganda, or whatever the other arrangement could be. When Anita Among was picked up from Sudan, from her home, and taken to Museveni for questioning, all that time that we did not see Anita Among and this, that, and the other, they interrogated her severely and got a lot of information. This information included the people she had been working with, who told her to do what, who sent her to do what. That is the reason Chris Obore is now in jail, because all of the links to whatever was transpiring about Anita Among, a change of government and all this, even if it was not necessarily a change of government, Museveni was scared. And nothing scares Museveni than feeling like he's getting the carpet pulled from under his feet. So anyways, Anita Among said a lot of things. She was tortured. She told what she knew. And all the people who have participated in Anita Among this, that, or the other, or finance moving here and there, are all going to be captured. And all of them are going to pay duly. All of them. Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi has had the biggest reception since his release from prison today. He has made speeches in his area, and people have been up all night celebrating his success, his release from prison, his freedom, the ability of him to come back and stay as strong as he is. Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi said if we thought he was strong, he is now stronger than he used to be. So I can't wait to see how much the Musevenis are going to feel, how bad they're going to feel, how much they're going to react to this. But for now, we celebrate and we thank the justice who made this possible. I'm sure Muhoozi and them are not happy about his release, and not happy about him being free, and not happy about seeing the reception that he has gotten from his people. But obviously, no matter what they do, change is in our hearts. No matter what they do to the low position, change is in our heart. No matter what they do to our structures or buildings because of the trade bill, change is in our hearts. No matter what they do for people who are working in a window or working places and things like that, they cannot change what is in our heart. We want change. I'm here, far away from the land, Uganda. But I can tell you that if I don't make my contribution every day, I don't sleep well. That's how much change is important. That's how engraved change in Uganda is in the hearts of the people who wish and want to see change. So no matter what they do in Uganda, we are going to continue speaking, we're going to continue sharing, we're going to continue condemning them, we're going to continue sharing their atrocities, we are going to continue showing them that we are not completely out and down. We are not. So speaking of which, recently Museveni has been sending a lot of people to the prisons, people like Katikiro Mayiga, and a few others who he always sends to go and speak with the political prisoners. He's trying to talk them into accepting the crimes that he, Museveni, says they committed. In fact, I know that they labeled certain crimes on, like Eddie Mutwe, they said he stole a jumper. Achileo Chivumbi, that he stole a cell phone, which was never made by Techno, by the way. When they tried to recreate what the phone was that was stolen in that saga that they pinned on Achileo Chivumbi, the phone was found to be a phone that has never been produced by Techno. So you can tell that God is on our side. No matter what they do, no matter what they try to do to demean or to kill the light in our hearts, to kill the strength and the power that lives in us, they have no way of completely putting out the want for change. Okay? So they've talked to a lot of the prisoners. A few of them had been compromised, but every time they finish meeting with these people and maybe feel like they maybe could agree to certain things, our favorite and the strongest spokesperson ever in National Unity Platform, Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro, gets all his brothers and sisters together, the Olivia Lutayas, Achileo Chivumbi, Eddie Mutwe, and everybody, and says, you guys, let us not give up. He talks them out of it every time. And the police, the prison service have said, you know, as much as we try to talk to these people, even if we're going to make headway, like we feel like they're about to turn around, as soon as they meet with Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro again, they become stronger, they become more powerful. So we encourage our people in Uganda, the leadership, please pour in your strengths into the prisoners who are already compromised, already in their lowest, already not doing well, already beaten. The only thing they have is their soul, is their strength, is their spirit. Therefore, it takes a different kind of communication to pour into them, to give them and build them from the inside out. So we're going to see about getting, you know, as much support from people outside of the jail cells to see how they can reach them in any way. Even if you have a connection with the police officer, see what you can do to reach them. Give them a message and to strengthen their heart, because surely they have physically been beaten. They are not well cared for. They are not sleeping well. They are not eating well. They are missing their loved ones. For anybody going through that, honestly, you can feel a little bit lost. You can get tempted to say certain things. We will never, ever hold it against the prisoners for the decisions that they make. However, choosing to accept Museveni's crimes doesn't really mean you are going to be free.